Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to Leadership Mondays. My name is Sherry Wherry. It has been a while since a long time that I have gone live, but I am so excited about this leadership series that I am starting. And for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about the power of boundaries. But before I jump into the information for this evening, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am, just in case you don't know me. So, first, my name is Sherry Wherry. Yes, it rhymes. Yes, it is my real name. I have lots of fun with my name, to say the least. But I am a person who was really passionate about equipping people to be positioned to experience success. And so I do that in a variety of ways. Professionally, I have experience in workforce development as well as being a corporate trainer. I'm a licensed social worker, so I do have some clinical training as well. And I'm also a licensed minister. So there is a lot of ways that I just connect with people on a variety, in multiple ways. So I also own my own business. I'm the owner and founder of Wherry Consultations, where I am the chief empowerment strategist. And I provide services with providing consulting and training to organizations. I do life coaching, speaking, and lots of other things as well. I'm a published author. And so you can check out my website, which you know what it is. Of course, it's going to be sherrywherry.com. You can actually check that out to be able to learn more about what I do, what I offer, and how we can work together in case you are interested in that as well. So, wanted to kick off this series with talking about boundaries because if you don't have a strong foundation for success, it's going to be difficult for you to then have sustainable success afterwards, right? Because at some point, it's just going to all topple down. And so, we're going to be talking about so many different topics over the next few weeks that we are together. And if you have suggestions for a topic that you would like me to address, you can go ahead and shoot me an email or send me a message to my website, or you can just, even on LinkedIn, you can send me a private message or even on my other social media pages as well. So I do welcome you to reach out. If you are watching live, I encourage you to even be active and ask questions in the chat. I'll answer it live if you have a question for me to answer. And if I don't have the information, I'll tell you that I'll get back to you. I am not that person to try to pretend like I know it all. I am still a person who is growing and learning as well, even as I share with you the things that I have learned. So, to kick off now, this weekly series that I am starting called Leadership Mondays, we're going to be doing a discussion about boundaries for the next 4 weeks. So, I'm going to give you a preview, let you know what we're going to be discussing, and invite you to jump in just with wherever you really connect or you want to learn more. So first and foremost, we're going to be talking about understanding your needs and getting clear on your goals. So that's what we'll be focusing on this evening. For week 2, we're going to talk about choosing sustainability over temporary wins. That's going to be a really good one. All of them are going to be really good. Of course, I may be a little biased, but and then for week 3, we're going to talk about how being understood is sometimes a sign of success. And then we'll close out this series on boundaries for our Leadership Mondays. We're talking about how powerful no's can lead to a life-changing yes. Powerful no's can lead to a life-changing yes. So let's jump into our topic for tonight, where we are discussing then understanding your needs and getting clear on your goals. When it comes to really understanding your needs, there's several questions that you need to ask yourself. First, you need to start off with asking yourself, who are you? Now, typically, when someone asks you this question, you're going to start rattling off the titles that you have and the outcomes that you produce and what you're able to do for everyone else, right? But when it comes to being able to set a strong foundation of creating impactful and effective goals that allow you to be able to have sustainable success, you have to think about who you are outside of what you do for everyone else and outside of any other title that you have. So the type of questions you really want to start asking yourself to really understand who you are is, what makes you happy? And for those of you who are on the line who are so focused on serving and being there for everyone else, you may not have answered this question in a really long time. And so I really encourage you to take time tonight or today, whenever you are seeing this message, to really think about what makes you happy, not what makes everyone else happy, not what, gets people off your back, not what provides people with the support that they need, but what is your happiness really grounded in? And then I need you to think about what makes you upset. Because yes, it's great to have a positive mindset and to think about, positive things, but it's also important to think about those hard things and to have those hard conversations as well. Is that as people, as human beings, is that life is not rainbows and bowls of cherries, right? Is that unfortunately there are times that we will go through hard times. We will experiencing challenges and difficulties. There are times where we have to have difficult conversations. And so even when it comes to understanding yourself, you have to even ask yourself those hard questions. And so what makes you upset? I want you to also take time to think about what fulfills you. What are those things that really refreshes you and restores you? And I need you to answer the question about what drains you. Now, some of you all may need to pause the video real quick to answer the questions. Totally okay. Answer the questions, write down your notes and your answers, or type it in your app on your phone, and then jump back in when you're ready if you're watching the replay. But I need you to be able to answer those questions. And then the last question I want to challenge you to answer when it comes to understanding who you are is, what does contentment look like for you? What does contentment look like for you? Okay. So now that you've gone through those series of questions of asking, who are you, right? What makes you happy? What makes you upset? What fulfills you? What drains you? And what brings you contentment? The next thing you need to do in order to be able to create impactful and effective and sustainable goals is to be able to answer the question, what are your needs? What do you as an individual need, right? What support or resources then do you need to connect with in order to get those needs met? And I'm not talking about the basic stuff like housing and clothing and, money to be able to take care of your responsibilities. Like, as an individual, mentally, what do you need? What type of mental stimulation do you need? Emotionally, what type of emotional support do you need? Who do you need to connect with? What friends do you need to reach out to? What family members do you need to call? Right? Or maybe you need to even start creating your own family, right? Of choice, where it's not that your family by relation, maybe you need to step outside of that and connect with other people who can meet you with the person you are today and don't see you or box you into the person that you used to be, right? So who do you need to connect with? What support, what resources do you need in order to get those needs met? It can sometimes be easier to meet the needs for everyone else as opposed to sitting in authenticity and truth and figuring out what you need and then going after it. You deserve the same thing that you give to everybody else. And so take time to really think about what your needs are and then go after it. You deserve it. You're worthy of it, right? And not because of who you are. I mean, not because of what you produce, but because of who you are, right? Your existence is enough for you to be able to have your needs met. So make sure you get on top of that. And then now that we have answered the questions about who are you, we've now gotten to the point where we know what our needs are. We know the resources and the supports we need to reach out to. Now it's time for you to think about, what are your goals, right? And as you are thinking about what those goals are and you're taking time to create them, it's important for you to create goals that allow you to be your authentic self, not goals that force you to continue to put on a mask. Because that mask is not going to lead to contentment. That mask is not going to be sustainable. At some point, you're going to have to snatch it off, right? And then start from scratch and do what should have been done in the beginning anyways, right? And so you want to create goals, again, that make space for you to be able to be your authentic self. And so then your answer to your goals don't conflict with who you are. Your answers to your goals don't conflict with the needs you've already stated that you need to have met, right? So these goals now are going to support the answers that you have provided to those other questions. And another tip, in case you're not familiar with it, when it comes to even creating goals, that you want to use the SMART acronym, right? So that's specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and then time frame or relevant, right? With some other versions of that, the R can be relevant. And so you can use that to be able to create goals that allows you then to create a daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly plan for how you are going to now move forward and being able to create impactful boundaries, but also living a life of contentment and living a life that really honors who you are. It doesn't mean that life is going to be perfect, but it can definitely be more enjoyable as you are honoring who you are. You are continually going after what you need and getting the appropriate supports for that. And then you're creating goals that align with that. So, that is all that I have for this evening. If this really helped you, feel free to drop it in the chat to let me know how this assisted you or supported you. What were your aha moments? If you have questions, you can drop it in the chat as well. This is currently being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. So wherever you're watching this, again, feel free to reach out. If you have questions, you can also send me a personal message as well. I'll make sure to respond. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. So again, next week, we're going to be doing part 2 about creating boundaries as a leader, right? So that you can effectively lead those who you are working with. And so next week, we are going to be talking about choosing sustainability over temporary wins. Choosing sustainability over temporary wins. So thanks again for joining you all. So glad to start this series. I'm so excited just for the discussions we're going to continue to have. Again, if you have questions, you want to know more about who Sherry Wherry is and what I do, you can check out my website at sherrywherry.com. So take care. Have an amazing day, an amazing evening whenever you're watching this. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye.